today. So I'm going to keep it a nice short session, and just wanted to have a chat to you as the CEO of Bizink about kind of what we've been doing over the last quarter and what we're going to be doing in the next quarter to help you guys. And this is kind of like a nice job for me to do. Really, I want to give a big shout out to the Bizink team because they've been working so hard over the last quarter, which obviously has been a bit of a strange one, as we all know. And we've really loved helping you help business owners with content to help them out on topics like cash flow and government loans and stimulus packages and all that stuff. So we feel very privileged that we've been able to help with that, and I hope it has helped you and help some of your clients as well. So before I get into talking about how we can help you more, I wanted to just have a chat about some observations I've had about marketing in general over the last 2 or 3 months. And these are things that we found in our marketing. So some of them are observations that I've seen in accountants and bookkeepers doing their marketing. And I just thought some of these might be helpful when you're planning your campaigns for the next few months. So the first one is that there's a bit of overwhelm, as I would put it. And I think you can all understand that. We're all feeling that too, is we're overwhelmed by information. And what we found is that some of our marketing campaigns have been less effective than they would be in more ordinary times. So what do I mean by that? Well, for example, webinars, we've been getting probably like 50% registration and 50% attendance of what we would normally expect. And I've spoken to other vendors in the accounting space, and they tell exactly the same story. So, obviously think, is it us? But no, that's actually something that I've spoken to different vendors in different countries, and they're all experiencing that. So I'm calling it webinar fatigue, because we've been doing webinars since the beginning, and it's been one of our key marketing tools. But everyone's jumped onto Zoom, right, and has had a go at doing webinars, often with pretty mixed results. So I think, people are overwhelmed anyway, and then they've been going to different webinars, seeing some pretty crappy webinars, and I think that's kind of, had a bit of an effect there. So I think, generally there's a bit of overwhelm. That means especially campaigns to prospects are a bit less effective, but I think clients are still listening. We've had really good engagement with you guys and our other clients over this period. So I think that trying to really foster those relationships with existing clients in a time where maybe growth is a bit harder, that's obviously really important. And we noticed that for you guys, for the accountants and bookkeepers that we work with, we sent over 110,000 emails for clients in May. So that tells me you guys are out there communicating to your clients, and that's really good. Another observation that we've had is a lot of our best work is coming, our best leads rather, is coming from referrals at the moment. And I know that's probably the main source of leads for you guys as well, even outside of these times. But I think now more than ever, it's important to work on those referrals, both from existing clients, but especially what I would call partnerships. So we partner with industry like vendors like Xero and people like that. And we found that we're getting a lot more work coming from those partnerships. And I think fostering and nurturing those partnerships right now is a really good way when, kind of organic leads coming maybe through your other marketing tactics might be a bit harder to come by. Those partnerships and referrals become even more important. So I just want to give you for those observations that I've seen over the last few months. I think they apply across all different types of professions and industries. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things today. The first one is we really want to help you guys more. So, I hope you can see that, we're always trying to improve our product and our service to you. And I'm going to talk about how we'll be doing that in the product in a bit of a roadmap discussion in a little bit. So I'll outline some of the things that we're going to be releasing over the next quarter. And our quarter starts on July 1st. That's the quarters we run. So I'll tell you about that. But what I'd really love to get to get from you is to fill in a short 1-minute survey. I'm going to pop this into the chat now. Let me just drop this in. So that survey is genuinely, it will take you like 1 minute to fill in. Super easy survey to do. And I would love it if you could do that and help us out, because I just really want to know how we've been doing, especially during COVID and the service that we've been doing there. You know, what are we doing well? What are we doing badly? What would you like us to do additionally that we're not doing? You know, and how would you like us to help business owners recover and come out of this interesting period that we've been in? So I'd really appreciate it if you take like a minute to do that survey. I promise it's super short. There's nothing kind of laborious about it, and you can anonymize it if you want, or you can tell us your details, and you know, if you're happy for us to follow up and have a chat with you. And that all just feeds back into our product meetings, our service meetings, where we're trying to improve things for you. So I'll talk about the roadmap in just a second, and I'll share my screen and show you a couple of things at that point. One of the things that we've been talking about for a long time, and so we offer some of you guys marketing services where we do things like post to your social media, help you with email marketing and that kind of thing. But we know that there's lots of our clients who are also working with marketing professionals, whether that's an agency, it could be like an SEO company or a freelancer, as well as paying us at Bizink. And I also know that sometimes those results are mixed, and sometimes the money being exchanged there is quite a lot. And so we want to do something on that front, offering more marketing services. We want to do it better, obviously, and we want to do it cheaper as well. So I just want you to know we're working on that. Who'd be interested in us helping you more with marketing? You know, so I'm talking about not here just giving you like a website, but actually doing things like posting to your social media, maybe doing some SEO optimization, that kind of thing. You can just type like yes or no into the chat if you're interested, or let us know through that form. Because we've just hired a new writer. So Camille has already started, and she knows a fair bit about SEO as well. So we're just trialing out a few things there, and then we're going to launch an enhanced SEO. So what, sorry, I should be not using jargon. SEO means search engine optimization. So in other words, trying to get you a better ranking in search engines like Google. So that's one thing that we've done. And we're also at the moment hiring a digital marketing specialist as well, so that we can help more with things like social media and other marketing tactics like that. So if you let me know in that form, and you know, that's going to help us kind of put that offer together. We'll be talking to you a lot more about that quite soon, and we'll be launching that in July. We'll probably launch it in different parts, but keep an eye out for that. So in terms of the roadmap, let me just share my screen and I will show you a few things that we're doing there. Bear with me. All right. So our plan for the next few months, the first thing that we're going to launch is key dates. So by key dates, we mean these are some ones from New Zealand, like key dates from like the tax agencies. So basically things like, you know, when to lodge tax or filing dates, that kind of thing. You know, we're putting in public holidays. And so we'll be dripping those out over all the different countries that we work with. So New Zealand, Australia, US, Canada, and the UK. I will be releasing these key dates. So they'll be just basically become available on your site if you want them. And so, you know, you can choose different months, or your clients can do that and see what's coming up. And we'll also be able to pull these into things like emails and blogs and things like that. So it's I think it's quite a cool little feature that, you know, people can just come to your site and use that as a one-stop shop. They don't have to go off to like the IOD or the IRS or the ATO or HMRC if you're in the UK. They can they can find that stuff right here on your site. So the functionality is built. We're just ironing out a couple of not really bugs, but just a couple of little things with that, and then we can release that to you all over the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. The other thing that we're doing is launching something called notifications. So you'll not need to do anything here, but what will happen is when we release new content, so for example, blogs or things like that, you will get notified, and it will actually tell you, we've just done a blog about, I don't know, let's find an example. So I'll click through onto this site. Bear with me. So, you've got access to a library of 300 odd blogs in your website, and we're releasing new blogs every month. So, this is one from, I think, this month. So, ways to run your business if you can't open your premises. So you will get a notification saying you've got a new blog on your site, ways to run your business if you can't open. And there's a link to it, and you can go and post that blog. Because I think sometimes we're doing a lot of stuff and we don't probably let you guys know about it enough. So that's what we've got, this notifications thing, which is going to be telling you exactly what's happening on your site and making it really easy to log in and post content. So that's built, that's done. We just need to push that out to everybody, and that'll be happening in July. So keep an eye out for that. We're also working on email newsletters, improving those. So there'll be some better content coming through there, ironing out a couple of issues. So we'll be enhancing those. And the final thing that we'll be doing in July is better reports. So some of you asked before that you'd like to see things like, reports that just probably mean a bit more to you in terms of what happened on your website in any given month. So we're doing things like going to be showing like real business goals, like how many people used your contact form, how many people downloaded the lead magnet on your website, and how many people gave you a call. So we will only know people who called from the mobile, but we can probably work out then, what that means in terms of probably calls from, normal landlines and things like that as well. So there'll be some better reports coming through. The great thing about all of those things I've just told you, you don't need to do anything, don't need to set anything up. They're just going to start appearing on your website. So keep an eye out for those. And of course, we'll let you know. Either we'll let you know by email, we'll let you know in the client Facebook group, which if you're not a member of, Anthony can post the link into the chat there. Please do join that, because that's a great way that we can just keep in touch with everybody. So then moving into August, we've got real cool feature that's coming out then called checklists. So it doesn't sound that interesting, but what that's going to be is in the back end of your website or your client hub, if you're a client hub client, are going to be these checklists. So you're all familiar with working with checklists in in your day-to-day work, but one thing that we've never seen is checklists around marketing. So here's how to run a campaign promoting say zero to your existing clients if you're a zero firm. And we're going to have a bunch of these checklists that we're going to be pushing into your site that are actually going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to run a marketing campaign. So we don't think there's anything really like this out there. And it's all part of our kind of philosophy of making marketing as easy as we can for you, because we know, it's a real pain point that you guys haven't got time to do marketing. So we just want to give you really, really good, clear way of doing that with checklists. The next thing we're working on in August is if you're a zero firm and you're using Zero Practice Manager, we're enhancing our integrations there. So we're going to release a leads integration. It already works now, but they've got a new API. So we need to rejig that connection and get that going again. So that's going to be happening in August. And the other thing we'll be doing is working on a couple of new website designs. So something you may or may not know is you can get a free design refresh whenever you want if you're subscribing to us. So if you've got a website with us and you want to change up how it looks, just get in touch with just raise a support ticket through the back end of your website. Is probably the easiest thing to do, and we can change that design for you for free. So I think that's like a really cool service that we offer that I don't know if everyone knows about that. So you can do that because I don't want anyone to have an old looking website. It's really important to me in the business that nobody kind of has an old looking website. So just remember that you can have a design refresh. We'll kind of put a new skin on your existing content. There's no charge for that. And then the final month of the quarter, September, we'll be doing a bit more on the Zero Practice Manager integration. So that will be contact syncing. So you have your contacts in Zero Practice Manager. That's going to sync up with email marketing. So we kind of had that working, and then the APIs changed. So we're just going back and making that a bit more robust, and then we'll relaunch that again. We're going to be launching some interactive tools on your website, or Client Hub. So loan calculator, quite relevant, I guess, at the moment where you've got a lot of government-backed loans in most countries, or you know, even if it's bank loans, businesses are borrowing to obviously have the cash flow to survive at the moment. So being able to look at different loan options is really useful, and you can do that right there on your site. The other interactive calculators we'll be adding are one for cash flow, one for a personal budget as well. So if you have like financial planning, or you help clients with their personal finance or wealth, that's a really nice tool. And we're working on a really cool business plan tool as well, where your clients or prospects will be able to come onto your site and create a business plan, a very simple business plan with multiple choice options. Now, why we think that's important is, you know, everyone needs a business plan. We don't need to sort of go over why that is. Most businesses, I would say, don't have a very good plan. And one of the reasons they don't is they really just struggle to get started. They sort of don't know what to put, and they procrastinate, and nothing happens. So what we're doing here is it's like a multiple choice tool that will spit out a business plan that gives them something to work with. Because we all know that, you know, having a blank sheet to stare at, it's pretty hard. But if you've got something to start with, it's much easier to sort of mold that to something more customized to what you want. So that's happening there. We're also going to do the final thing we're going to do in September. I mean, we've got a bunch of small things that we'll be doing, but these are the major things that we'll be releasing. We're going to do a refresh on our partner content. So I'd be interested to know what other content you'd like to see. And what I mean by partner content is content from the likes of Xero or QuickBooks or MYOB or HubDoc or Receipt Bank, all these kind of apps that you partner with, the vendors that you partner with. We create content for them, and most of you will have some of that on your website, and it's very popular. So I'm interested to know what you'd like to see in terms of that kind of content. You know, we'll ask in the Facebook group, and we'll you know, we won't just kind of run off and do it, but we'll be refreshing our partner content. So really interested to know which kind of apps you'd like to see us create content for. So that's my roundup of where we're going. So the big things that, you know, we're doing, I've talked about the product roadmap, and the big thing is we're really going to bolster our marketing services offering so that, you know, you're going to get really good value, whether it's SEO, social media, could be like Facebook advertising, that paid advertising. We want to help you with that because we think that a lot of firms would rather do all of that stuff in one place, and that does make sense, you know, because then the content, the website, the services are all connected, and also offer it in a really good value way. That's what we're really keen to do. So they're the big things that are going to be happening. But if you could let me know a little bit more with that feedback survey that we posted, that would be really, really helpful. That's going to give us some real specific information. And if you don't mind having a quick sort of 10-15 minute chat with me or one of the team, then there's an option there. If you want to keep it anonymous, you can do that as well. So I'm happy to take any questions you guys have got. Anthea can take those. You can use the Q&A panel or the chat. I'm happy to take any questions about anything we've got upcoming, or, you know, anything that's kind of bugging you at the moment with what we do. Just let me know, and I'm happy to stick around and answer that. Don't want to overwhelm you with surveys, but we've also got this. So every year we do the accounting marketing survey, which is kind of obvious what it is. It's about what accountants and bookkeepers are doing in terms of marketing, and it's the only global survey that looks at that. And we've been doing it for several years now, so we've got this real good back catalog, I guess, of data, so we can compare what's happening, what's changing. And this year, obviously, we've kind of obviously had to include some stuff related to the C word, as we call it, COVID. No one wants to read COVID-19 again, but it's obviously going to have a big effect it's had a big effect, and it's going to continue to have a big effect on business and therefore what you guys do in terms of marketing. So if you would help us, complete that survey, I'd really appreciate it. It doesn't take long. It's mostly multiple choice, so you can flick through it. You can keep it anonymous again if you want to. There's a few bonuses for completing it, but the end result of that's a really nice survey as well report that we send out that helps you kind of like benchmark where you're doing in terms of marketing. You can see who's doing what around the world in terms of, whether it's websites or social media, whatever, you'll see it in that report, and we will send that to you. So if you don't mind sparing a bit of time for that, I would really appreciate it. Any questions, Anthea?
I can't see any at the moment. There's Andrew and Stephen are giving us some good feedback and suggestions on future releases. So that's really, really appreciated. More content on QuickBooks and that sort of thing. Stephen's just asking for a link to that survey. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Coming soon, Stephen.
Here it comes.
Yeah, and we'll send that out via email as well. So if anybody has any questions, we're here to answer.
And you've got the Facebook group, or we're always there. So the support, best way to get support, either through the back end of your website, we've got the chat there, or we have the chat on the website here. That's a great way to do it. Or you can email support@bizinkonline.com, and that will come through straight through to you, to the support team as well. Cool. Okay. One question. XPM integrations, will this remove duplicate email addresses? So I don't know if the integration itself would do that, but the email marketing tool would do that. So you wouldn't be sending email twice, but I'll have to look into whether the integration would do that. I think it would. I think from testing it, but I have to speak to the developers to check on that. But certainly, there is a deduplication thing in email marketing, so that would kind of cover off that bit there.
Yeah, good question. I know that's highly requested, hey, that integration with XPM, so that'll be awesome when we can launch that fully.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sounds really simple to do, like syncing contacts between one app and another. But when we get into it, there was a lot of complication where people want certain lists to go to certain lists like that. But the way people categorize things in XPM is very different. And so that was a bit of a problem there. So we're just trying to make it, I guess, as flexible that it suits how lots of people are doing their work, but also simple. So, you're not going to configure lots of different things. It's a bit more complicated than it seems on the tin.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't necessarily want to sync across all of your contacts, right? And then so we need to know, okay, which ones do we bring in? And you want them to go to different lists. Are they like, say, tax clients or business clients? And there's a bit of complication in there, but we're almost there with that.
Perfect. I think that's all I can see. Oh, Stephen's just asking analytics on websites to see how they are performing and search engine results.
Yeah, so we already do that. I don't know if your website's been live long enough, Stephen, for you to have got your first report. So you will get that. What we're going to be doing in July is enhancing those reports. So the reports you get are kind of, they give you like the bare bones, what happened on your site and things like that, but we're going to improve the kind of like what happened in terms of leads. So reporting on, you know, what I would call like actual business data in there as well. And also putting some search engine stuff in there. So we've got some tools where we can even look at the where your ranking was. So they call it like your SERP, search engine results position, SERP. Your SERP kind of, well, yeah, that's what it is. You basically, you know, what's your average position for certain terms. So we're gonna have a look at that as well and try and get those into a report. So that's all stuff that we're working on in those enhanced reports.
Awesome. We've just got another comment about, you know, looking to know more in the future about Bizink's automations, which there is a lot within the websites and the hubs that can be automated. I know we have a client webinar dedicated to this from late last year, I believe, off the top of my head, which I can dig out and send. And there definitely would be some resources in the knowledge base, which I can find as well and send through.
Yeah, I mean, the email automation in the back end is an awesome feature, you know. So we do things for you like the lead magnets, we call them. So, you know, like a business plan course, or we have things like the Zero course. But you can also create automations in there as well. So, you know, you can do like a client onboarding type thing if you want to do that. So if you need any help with that, we'll dig out the videos for doing that. Another thing I'd point you to as well is that our websites integrate with a tool called Zapier, which some people call Zapier. But that's a tool which connects different apps together. I know some of you will be using it. So basically what happens is, you know, there's a trigger app and an action app. So with your website, that would be the trigger. So it would trigger off. So someone submits a form, triggers off, it pulls that data, and then that can say push into MailChimp, for example. So Zapier, there's like literally thousands of apps connect through Zapier, and that can connect to your website. So that's a good thing where you can glue together your website and some of those other back office apps that you've got. So that's an interesting one around automation that you can do there. So any information you can grab through a form on your website, you can push that out through Zapier, and that could go to one of like literally a couple of thousand apps.
Awesome. Okay, that one was in terms of launching a new app soon. Any idea on what can be done to integrate the app with the website?
I couldn't really say without knowing the specifics of the app. I mean, I'd say one of the main things would be like allow people to download that, you know, put links to if it's available on the App Store or Google Play. Maybe put that on there. But if you can let us know maybe a little bit more about the app and a support ticket, Nada, then that would be great, and we'll see what we can do.
Awesome. I think that's all I can see.
Very good. Well, thanks for everyone for coming along. Been great to chat to you, and yeah, appreciate it if you could fill in both of those surveys. But you know, certainly that client one will only take a minute. You know, me and Anthea both tested it. We did it under a minute. Hey, Anthea.
Yeah.
So yeah, it literally does. But I really appreciate that, and thanks for making the time today. We'll wrap it up there, and have a good one.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.